So we're not moving on, we're staying with negative exponents, but this is an opportunity just to kind of remind you of some things and to make sure you see some of the more, maybe more complicated things. So first off, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. 3 to the negative 4. Remember that means that the 3 goes on bottom because of the negative exponent. It doesn't turn it negative, it just moves it to the bottom. And now the exponent becomes positive. There's nothing on the top, so we need a placeholder, so we put a 1, and then we do the math, and we get 1 over 81. Also, if we had a fraction to a negative exponent, then what's going to happen is it moves everything. If it's on top, it goes to the bottom. If it's on bottom, it goes to the top. So now I'm going to have 5 over 3 to the positive 1 now, because I flipped it, and that positive 1 doesn't do anything, so I can just write that as 5 over 3. Now, what are more complicated stuff? So here, what if I had this? I have 4n to the negative 2 to the negative 3. So this one, what's going on is I have two things being multiplied, and sometimes people don't see this as two things, so I want to make sure you do. This 4 is being multiplied times the n to the negative 2. So that means that negative 3 goes to both of them. All right, so now I have 4 to the negative 3. And I have n to the negative 2 to the negative 3. Okay, then I keep on doing my rules, like, for instance, exponent raised to another exponent gives you, you multiply them. So we get n to the negative 2 times negative 3 is a positive 6. And then we still have 4 to negative 3. Now I can't actually do 4 to the third there because I have a negative exponent. So I need to take this and move it to the bottom. Now I want you to notice n does not have a negative exponent. This does not have a negative exponent, so this stays. Just the 4 goes to the bottom. So I'm going to move the 4 to the bottom, and now the exponent becomes positive, and then that's gone. So basically now what I have is n to the 6th over 4 to the 3rd. And then we do that math. N to the 6th over, let's see if I can do this one right. 4 to the 3rd would be, I believe, 4 to the 3rd is 64. So we have n to the 6th over 64. All right. Let's see here. What are some other things that we could see? How about this one? What if we had 5 times 2 to the negative x? Okay, well, if we look at this, 5 does not have a negative exponent. However, 2 does have a negative exponent. So the 2 is going to go to the bottom, but the 5 isn't. 5 is not negative. So we leave the 5 where it is. I move the 2 to the bottom. Now the 2 has a positive x for an exponent. And if I look at this, there's actually nothing else I can do. I can't do anything with the 5. The 2, I can't do that to the x power because I don't know what x is. I can't divide them because I would have to do exponents before dividing. Think of PEMDAS. So this is actually my answer. Okay, another example. So if you haven't noticed yet, what I'm really trying to get across is what gets moved and what doesn't. So once again, I've got a variety of things going on. This 2 does not have a negative exponent, so the 2 is going to stay put. The x has a negative exponent, the y has a negative exponent, so those ones are going to move. So I leave the 2 where it is. The x goes to the bottom and the exponent becomes positive. The y goes to the bottom and the exponent becomes positive. And this is actually my answer. Once again, I don't have any other math I can do. The 2, there's nothing I can do. There's no exponent. There's no other numbers to multiply to. X squared, I don't know x. Y cubed, I don't know y. So those I have to leave alone. Okay? Sometimes you do have where you can move more than one thing. For example, if I had a parenthesis 5a to the negative 2, I could go about this two different ways. One, I could look at it as this is all to the negative 2, so I can move it all to the bottom, leave the bubble around it. Now it's a positive 2 and a 1 on top, and then we have to do that distributing the squared. So we get 1 over 5 squared and a squared. So we have 1 over, and I can do some math here, so I got 25, and then a squared stays the same. One more example. If I had 1 over 3x to the negative 4, see the 3 doesn't have a negative on it, negative exponent, so I leave that alone, but the x does. So the x is going to get moved. Now, here's a new case. We haven't really seen much of this. the x with the negative exponent is on the bottom. So then what happens is I have to take and I have to move it to the top now. So basically you're just moving worlds. If it's in the top world, you move it to the bottom. If it's in the bottom world, you move it to the top. So the 3 stays where it was. The x is now on top, and the exponent becomes positive. And so this would be my answer. Alrighty. Good luck with this. Just do it one step at a time, and you'll be just fine.